Upsize sale on now.
Showers developing and 17. Hey, it's Rebecca in the newsroom. Police are investigating two separate fires across the region. The first was in Norlane just after 9 last night, with officers believing an object with flammable liquid was thrown at an empty unit. And fire crews were called to an unoccupied home on Boundary Road in Armstrong Creek just after 5:30 this morning. Peter Dutton's denying Australia's rejected First Nations people by voting down constitutional change. Most of Australia voted no in the Voice referendum, with the ACT the only jurisdiction voting yes. The opposition leader says voters have chosen a way forward for Indigenous policy that doesn't include the Voice to Parliament.
They've rejected the Voice and the government's proposal, which deliberately wasn't explained to them. But they haven't rejected Indigenous Australians, and we are all dedicated to making sure that we can do everything possible to improve their lives.
A driver's blown nearly 4 times the legal limit after being pulled over in Corio. The police chopper first spotted a Triton Ute driving erratically on the Princess Freeway. A 50-year-old man was pulled over and allegedly blew .195, losing his licence for a year. Israel's preparing to execute the next stage of their offensive, warning of coordinated strikes with fields of tanks at the northern Gaza border. Palestinian citizens are trying to escape south of Gaza City. Meantime, Foreign Affairs officials are working to get Aussies out of Tel Aviv, despite repatriation flights being cancelled. Geelong's on the verge of yet another property boom, with 11 towns and suburbs expected to pass the $1 million median by the middle of 2025. PropTrack data shows 37 suburbs will see gains of well over $100,000 in that time. Callum McDonald from Whitford Properties says there's plenty of momentum out there.
With the Geelong Framework Plan being released and these big developers pouring money into the area, the hotels, the convention centre that's going up there, it's only going to create more attraction to the area.
And New Zealand voters have ended 6 years of Labor Party rule. The Nationals have claimed victory, with former businessman Christopher Luxon to become the nation's next leader.
I'm such a weirdo, tattoos from my toes to my earlobes. Was a role model, I never had a hero. I learned how to live through the stereo.
Awaken your senses. The all-new MG5. K-Rock Sport. Tyre power. Get the power out of your local tyre experts.
Mitch Marsh is warning against writing off the Aussie men's cricket team at the ODI World Cup. The Aussies have lost their opening 2 matches, but Marsh says they'll turn things around tomorrow night against Sri Lanka.
I've got a lot of trust that we can turn this around, and it's about enjoying that process. And I think a lot of Australian teams, when they're backed into a corner, play their best cricket. We find ourselves in the corner early on in this tournament, but we've got to come out and put in a really good performance against Sri Lanka.
In the AFLW, wins yesterday for St Kilda, Hawthorn, Geelong, Brisbane and Essendon. The round wraps up today with North Melbourne hosting Port Adelaide, Carlton's against Collingwood and West Coast plays Melbourne. The A-League women's crowd record has been broken. More than 11,000 fans turned out to see the Sydney FC beat the Wanderers 2-0 at Sydney Football Stadium. In other games yesterday, Newcastle defeated Central Coast 1-0, while Perth Glory beat Western United 2-0.
Sixt Car and Truck Rental has arrived in Australia. At Sixt, we go above and beyond. We call it Above and Beyonding.